Ramble.
Thank you to Chime, Pros, and BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to You Can Sit With Us. We are so happy that you are here. And I'm Ariel, one of your hosts, and I'm joined by Becky.
Hi.
And Rachel.
Hello.
And today so Becky and I were in a cab the other day and we were talking about movies. And I realized that Becky had never seen Dances with Wolves.
Never.
And I was
never seen it.
How do you know how sex works? And
Ariel, I'm obviously still a virgin.
Obviously. Yeah, and so it got us talking about movies that had shaped us.
Yeah.
Miles is obsessed with the sexual awakening part of this.
Okay. Excuse me.
Are you listening?
You walked in and said you had different sexual awakenings through films. You make me sound like a pervert.
Miles is obsessed.
He's obsessed with it.
Miles is in the corner like, yeah, talk about it, girl.
Yeah. Come on, ladies.
Oh, it's so funny.
Wait,
but so it
Dances with Wolves with your sexual awakening, Ariel?
Does he have sex with a wolf? Does he have sex like a wolf?
Does he dance with the wolves?
He does. Okay, so Dances with Wolves. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's Kevin Costner.
It's
right?
Kevin Costner, and it's a story about like the early colonization of America, right? And so it's a really, really long movie.
In a good way?
In a really good way, yeah. But I mean, like I'm sure now it's like very problematic because he finds himself in like a tribe.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's Dances with Wolves. Like
we're entering shaky ground.
Yes, and they like accept him as one of them, and he falls in love with like the daughter of the chief. And
Is this just Pocahontas?
Yeah, that's
Like Disney's Pocahontas?
except he's like a nobody. You know,
Okay.
I mean, he's like an infantryman or something like that.
That wasn't that what John Smith was?
Maybe
Was
I
John
thought John
Smith
Smith was.
like a leader?
Yeah, I thought he was like a leader.
Oh.
Anywho,
We don't know.
but they like take him in. You know, it wasn't like because he was like I
Was
don't
he
know.
lost?
I have no idea. I can't remember now. All I can think of
Okay,
is
how old were you when you watched this movie?
probably. So I'm pretty sure we were talking about like being at your grandmother's house.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was at my grandmother's house, and we were watching this movie. And, you know, like everybody sitting in the same room together, and there is this very drawn out sex scene where, you know, like the whole time they're all wearing it's like winter and they're wearing like furs and, you know, like period clothing, and all of the clothing comes off inside of this hot, you know, EP.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
And there's like,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yep. Like furs on the. But yeah, it was pretty intense. Like very close up, like videography and camera work.
What do you
of like
recall
sweat
happening to you as you watched?
I recall looking around the room at my family and being like, am I the only one seeing this? Like,
You guys see it happening?
how long is this scene? Like, what is going on here? And then I do remember looking it up later, being like thinking about how good that scene was and then finding it myself later.
What do you mean looking it up?
I
Like on the
mean,
internet?
There was no internet.
No, there was no
Or you got a
internet at that
VHS.
point. We must have had it on VHS.
Yeah.
We must have had it on VHS.
She's
So
rewinding.
there must
Go
have
back,
been
go
a
back.
rewind situation. But yeah, it was that was definitely one of the first ones for me.
That
I was
a movie
probably,
that
I was
shaped
probably
you?
like 12, 13, something like that.
Okay. So was it only your sexual awakening or did it shape who you are today? Based on what you've told me. I hope
Ariel
not.
only likes to wear furs
Yeah.
ahead of.
Yes. No, I think it was really more of a sexual awakening than anything else.
We were talking about right before this too. I had said Casper,
Uh-huh.
but not as a joke.
I
If
don't think
you
that's a
were-
joke.
It is 100% not a joke.
I
Seeing
think that's not a
Devin
joke.
Sawa
Yes.
to go from baby Casper, who has like a baby voice, to like this teenager. And I'm not
It was
saying-
not my sexual awakening,
No.
but I
But
am
you
right there with
remember
you.
it, right?
Yeah, it was hot as fuck.
And I was young, and I remember being like, and he like whispers in her ear, "Can I keep you?" And I was like, "I'm straight. I'm straight."
I'm straight.
Confirmed. Dang. Yeah.
Confirmed.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I loved it.
Did you
I
not
was
have
like,
a Devin Sawa thing? Because I had a big Devin Sawa thing. I was going to marry him.
100%.
Yeah.
Did you watch Idle Hands?
No.
Oh, that sounds sexy.
Yeah, it's with him, and I want to say it's like Jessica
Was that later?
Alba's. Yeah, it was when he was a teenager.
Oh.
It was like maybe Jessica Alba's first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those like classic like 90s or early it had to have been 90s because he's like he's much older. Movies where like it was one of those like stoner horror movies that was also like had some little sexual moments, but he was like a stoner. And you know, idle hands, what do they say? Idle hands are more easily influenced or something like that.
Oh, I
But
don't
it's like an
know.
old saying basically if you're lazy, the devil's going to get you. And so the devil got him and he had this hand that would have a mind of its own. And it was evil and wanted to kill people.
Whoa. That sounds really intense.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
It was great.
Loved it.
Did that shape you?
Not that movie in particular, because I think I was older when that movie came out. But when I think of like childhood movies, I watched Labyrinth like probably 1,000 times. Like whenever, like latchkey, the word I learned
Latchkey
here.
Kids.
Latchkey Kid, yeah.
I called it TV babysitter, but TV babysitter was Labyrinth. And like even when we had like actual babysitters, they were usually like kids in the neighborhood. We would watch Labyrinth, and they would like call my parents and be like, "Are you okay with this? Are you sure this is?" They're like, "It's kind of scary. It's kind of weird."
And your
like,
parents
"It's
were like, it's fine.
They're
They've
like,
seen
"It's
it.
fine. She's seen it 100 times."
Wait, is that the one with David Bowie in it?
It is dance, magic dance.
Keith
know
and
that
I
song?
saw the puppets from Labyrinth in
I
Atlanta.
know.
We went to the puppet museum.
He sent me a picture of because I love the little worm. Said,
The
I
worm
said,
is
"Hello."
freaky.
I love it.
You
It's
love
so
it.
cute. And he said they had the doors
Mm-hmm.
where they make you pick in the riddle. Have you seen Labyrinth?
I think I have because I remember the creepy feeling of the movie. You
So
know,
it
but
shaped you too.
I have no idea what the story is. I just remember David Bowie.
Yeah.
And now that you're mentioning puppets, I could not have pulled puppets out of that. I do not
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
that
They're
there
like
were
Jim.
puppets.
It's Jim Henson, right?
yeah. I
Jim
think
Henson
the
puppets.
whole puppet museum. No, it wasn't. There was like world puppets and then there was like Jim Henson puppets.
Yeah. But it's the girl or the woman. Who's the woman in Labyrinth? She's like a famous actor now, but she was obviously a child actor at the time. But she has a little brother and she gets mad at him. And she's like, "Oh, I wish the Goblin King would come take you away because you're a baby and you're ruining my life." And then David Bowie's like, "I hear you, girl. I'm coming." And he comes and he snatches that baby. And then she has to go into the labyrinth to save the baby.
Yeah.
Is it like a baby?
It's a baby. Yeah.
And I watched the scene with all these demons around this baby just sitting in the middle, like actually just screaming. And I was like, that's actual child torture. That baby looks scared.
It's
And they're
scary.
all like hopping around, all these
Oh my
puppet
gosh.
creations. I was looking at this behind the scenes. I was like, no, we can't do that. That child looks really scared.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm sure there's not like, well, did you ever hear the kids in, I think it was it The Shining? where they're the two little girls. They didn't know it was a scary movie when they filmed it. So because the kids weren't there for anything like scary.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wonder like what that baby from Labyrinth, like what kind of like nightmares it has.
But
now.
yeah, the baby sitting there and all those creepy puppets dancing around and it's just screaming. That baby's in distress for real.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Look, that baby made some money that day.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
well,
his parents made some money.
his parents made money.
Because I mean, were there actual
What do babies
rules
need
around
money
that?
for?
For all their baby shopping, getting little baby purses, little baby cars.
I wish the babies earned their own money for all their baby shopping. They're just spending my money.
Spending mama's money.
Mama's money.
What about you, Rach?
Formative sexual awakening movies.
Or just any,
Or just regular too.
formative
But yeah, definitely
movies.
tell us your sexual awakening if you
I
have
have
that
two,
one.
really 3 moments, but 2 major moments. One is very cliche and you would guess it. And the other one is maybe not cool, but so
Go on.
The pause.
It can't be worse than Dances with Wolves.
no, I mean,
Titanic's
it might
gotta be one of them.
Titanic is one
Titanic's
of
gotta
them.
be one of them.
And here's the thing about Titanic. As I saw it in the movie theater with my mother and my little sister, who's a few years younger, and when that scene started, my mother sent my sister to buy candy, and she didn't send me. And I was like, I am a woman now. I am a grown-up who's allowed to watch the sex scenes.
Oh, that
It
is
was
so funny.
incredible. That like earmarks for me womanhood. Titanic.
You're like, my mom thinks I'm old enough.
My mom thinks I'm old enough.
I cannot believe that like, my parents like covered my eyes. They were eye coverers until I was like 18. I remember specifically seeing The Notebook with my mom and Watchmen with my dad. And they both did like a hand. And I think for Watchmen, I was like, I had to have been like 16 or 17. I was like,
Oh my
Dad.
Dad.
Stop it.
The other like doesn't count one, and then I'll tell you the one I got caught rewinding. Is Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, yes.
The Boz Lerman one,
The one,
obviously.
the one with Claire Danes
Yes,
and Leonardo DiCaprio.
of course.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am Claire Danes. Like in my
100%.
mind, to this day, I'm still Claire Danes.
Yeah.
That Leonardo DiCaprio really got me.
Also, we had Paul Rudd. We had John Leguizamo being like kind of sexy, and that was strange for everyone involved.
Yeah. Though Titanic and Romeo and Juliet are like why I am a romantic person.
Right.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
shaped me fully. This other movie did not shape me, but I got caught rewinding it. So we went to Blockbuster, we rented it, we watched it as a family. I think my eyes got covered or I was told to go away. And then I came back and rewound to find the part I was told to go away for. And that movie was Forrest Gump.
Oh. Yeah.
Forrest Gump, so they didn't want you to see the Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny.
Jenny scene.
They didn't want me to see. And I
Wow.
got caught replaying it.
You got caught?
My mom was like, what are you doing? I was like, I just really wanted to rewatch the running. I don't know what I
wanted
said.
to watch the running.
She obviously knew what was going on and she like took it and put it away. I wasn't allowed to see it. That's why when I saw Titanic later and I got to stay, it was like,
Oh, wow.
I am an adult.
I've
I
done
feel
it.
like, okay, so now that you are a mom with 2 girls, if you caught them rewinding to a
I would
sex
be
scene,
like, let's watch it.
yeah, like, let's have
yeah.
a conversation
What
about
questions
this.
do you have?
Also, are you too embarrassed to talk about it? That's okay. You can watch it. Yeah. Like, what's the
What's
can
the
watch
big,
that.
like, what's the,
Yeah.
Like, it's sex and having sex with people is something you're going to do and it's not taboo.
right.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
watch it. That is sexy.
Like, it's okay that you're feeling those feelings.
And it's okay if you don't want to talk to me about it.
Yeah.
That's fine. That does feel a little embarrassing, doesn't it? Okay, you can watch it. Like, give me a break.
I feel like I would totally be an oversharer, and I'd be like, "Let me tell you about my first."
Oh boy.
you know,
When they
boy.
rewind and they play, I'm gonna
Rachel,
be like,
let me babysit your girls.
I'll invite Auntie Ariel over, and she'll bring some Chardonnay, and we'll really get into it.
All the deets.
I'm coming for you, twins.
Because like maybe it's too embarrassing to talk to me, but you guys can talk to Ariel.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You can talk to Auntie Ariel.
Auntie Ariel will
Because you
talk
know
to you.
my boys are not going to want to talk to me about it.
Yeah, probably not.
Your
Probably
boys are
not.
just gonna be like, can you wash my laundry, Mom? And you'll be like, yeah, I got it. It's fine.
I got
It's
you,
okay.
baby. It's
I
okay.
got you.
I got you. Do you need more socks?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Ariel.
No, that's what happens. I can't say
No,
that's what happens.
Not the socks.
I mean,
Don't bring socks into this.
or underwear.
some of us are brothered.
Some of us are
brothered.
Listen, I think if you're a mom of boys, that's just the natural progression of things.
I feel like I have just accepted that like once the boys hit like puberty,
Yeah.
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 This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Life can be overwhelming, and many people are burned out without even realizing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless, trapped, detachment, fatigue, and many more. Many of us often associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause. Any of our roles in our life can lead us to feel burned out, and BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. I've been seeing a therapist. I think it's super important to not ignore those feelings and let those bottle up. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and you can sit with us listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sitwithus. That's BetterHelp.com/sitwithus. You know, I have a lot of friends right now that are either pregnant or early postpartum and having babies at the moment. And a lot of the stressors I hear related to it is hair shedding. And pros may have a solution. One of the alarming side effects of all the hormonal changes can be excessive hair shedding. Hair can come out sometimes in clumps when you wash or brush it, and that just seems like so stressful. Thankfully, Pros specializes in custom hair care, and now they're also making custom hair supplements that are personally tailored to address your specific cause of shedding. They take into account things like hormonal changes, stress levels, diet, and more. All formulas are gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, vegan, and cruelty-free. In fact, multiple studies show that over 90% of women taking Pros hair supplements saw less shedding, more growth, and improved overall appearance in just 90 days. Try your own custom hair supplements and you'll get 15% off. Get yours at pros.com/sitwithus. That's PROSE.com/sitwithus for your free in-depth hair supplements.
Oh my God, they're going to smell so bad.
They're gonna smell so
yeah,
bad.
of course they are.
Kids like reek.
They're never gonna want to cut their hair.
Kids are so smelly. When I did that teaching internship with sixth graders, it's the most rancid classroom.
yeah.
I did sixth graders and eighth graders for history and English. Rancid. Like
It's
you
because,
walked in and you were like
Oh.
nauseated.
It's because like the hormones in their bodies are all new and they don't know how to process it.
Yeah.
And also they're not that good about hygiene or deodorant.
No, and the eighth graders would use like Axe and like sprays.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like,
What were your thoughts on Axe body spray when we were teenagers?
Oh my God, disgusting.
I did not like it.
I don't
didn't-
like it.
Okay, so just like boy smell in general. Did you
Boys
think
who
that boys
smelled like Axe for me is like a college association
Yeah.
and is like, ew, no, stay far away.
Interesting.
If I
Did you like it?
You liked Axe?
No, I didn't love Axe.
It's too much.
I
did.
liked Abercrombie Fierce. That was like the scent of high school and college to me.
I did like boys who smelled good. You know, I also liked girls who smelled good.
Yeah,
you know?
I also like
Well,
boys
anyone
who
that
smelled
smells
good.
good.
Yeah.
But like most of the
smell
boys
is-
I've dated in my whole life just smell like Old Spice deodorant. Let's
Yeah,
get real.
Old Spice, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And
Smell is just very sexy to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
on girls
and
and
it's
boys.
so nostalgic.
Yeah.
Like if I to this day smell like a Victoria's Secret perfume, I'm like, 8th grade. Hi, 8th grade.
Transported.
If I smell Sweet Pea from Bath
my
and Body
gosh,
Works.
Yes.
or I think Stila had a sweet pea
Oh, really?
perfume for a little while. Yeah.
And
Fancy.
you brought
That's
this
what my
up
mom
before,
wants,
but
or
Clinique
wore.
Happy is like
Clinique Happy.
Clinique
takes
Happy.
me right back to high school.
100%.
And what was that one? There was one that came in like a gosh, I can't. I can see the bottle. I can see the bottle right now. I don't even think that they make it anymore. I'm gonna look it up. You guys keep
Okay.
talking about scent. I'm gonna find this.
talking
one.
about scent.
Scent.
Yeah, I just think kids smell bad.
Yeah, I think they do too. They need
in general
more showers, more deodorant,
Yeah.
and probably less hormones. I
Yeah.
think like when I was pregnant, I didn't smell bad, but I was sweaty in places that I'm never sweaty. Like everything, there was just so much sweat, and I think it was all the extra like hormones.
Keith and I must have a lot of hormones racing through our body at all times. We must be so hormonal because we
you're
are
sweaty.
Our future children have zero chance.
I would wake up in the morning from just sleeping all night, and my feet would be like actively sweating. I was like, that's hormones. And I just, maybe I also didn't smell good. I can't recall.
I definitely didn't smell good.
But I think that's what happens to kids in puberty is the hormones are just racing through their bodies and they smell terrible.
Okay, talk about hormones racing through your body. So I looked this up the other day. Well, not the other day, a couple of years ago. Because
I did my research in 2018.
Because when I was
2012.
breastfeeding both times, I could not wear enough deodorant. It was so stinky. And guess what? It's your hormones actually make you more stinky so that your baby can smell you. So that they can come find you like in the night or whatever to eat.
Oh, so you're supposed to smell stronger. But it's not a nice smell.
Not a nice smell. It's just a body smell. Yeah. It does make you realize that like smell is natural.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But
your
a
body
sixth
does
grade
it on its
classroom
own.
is a rank place.
Rank place. Like
Nasty.
teachers already do a lot, but to have to deal with that on top of it,
Well,
like
at the school I used to teach at, all the 4th through 6th graders were on the 4th and 5th floors. It was a really tall building because it was in New York. And I would just skip those floors at all costs. I was like, I'm never going up there. It's smelly. People are crying. People are upset. People are fighting for the first time ever. I was just like, I pretend that those floors don't exist.
Yeah.
Middle school is rough. I don't want to be there.
It's rough.
Wes already only wears like 3 t-shirts. He's very particular about the shirts that he wears. He wears one that says Rocket Science. He wears the one with the mouth, which is the Rolling Stones. And then he wears Spidey.
You want a weird mom confession on smell?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I really, really, really love the smell of the girl's morning breath. And I think that is just some weird animal thing in with me. Like when they're laying in my arms and they yawn, I'm like,
I do that with Alfred. I like his stinky mouth. I like his stinky little mouth. Not the kittens, though. The kitten smells like actual shit. But Alfred, his stinky breath is like, so sweet.
yeah, their little stinky morning breath really gets me. And I just think no one else loves this on planet Earth but me. No one else will ever love you like
what
this.
What does it smell like?
I don't know. It just smells like warm and like, I don't know. It
Like
just
a little
smells like them.
stinky?
It smells a little stinky.
Yeah.
I
That is so
love it
funny.
though. How strange.
Well,
How
you know,
That's not strange.
That's-
I like that. I
that's
think
like-
it's cute.
there's like an actual way, like people who have bad breath, usually it's something that's going on in their digestive system or something like that. You know, if it's not, like in their teeth. But so that's probably an evolutionary thing where if you like the smell of their breath because they're healthy and, but then if the smell changed,
I would be
you
like,
would
what's
know,
going on with you guys?
You'd be like, is something wrong with your gut bacteria? Like what's
baby.
what's going on
Are
here?
you not flossing every night?
Oh my God. Our pediatrician at our 3-year appointment told me to floss the girls' teeth once a day, every day. And I was like, another thing?
That's true.
Another.
And I
haven't
brush
started.
twice, floss once, even for Finn. And he only has 4 teeth.
I was going to say, how many? Well, at least it's fast.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't know. She told me this like a week ago. I haven't started yet.
You could get the girls to do it themselves. You get them a little pick.
All right. I'll try that.
Yeah. They have like flavored picks. That's what I did for Wes. I was like, okay, you do it, buddy. Because he won't let me get in his mouth.
You won't let you in there? He'll chomp at you?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to smell that stinky breath?
Exactly. I honestly don't
that's
think
not
I've
your thing.
ever smelled his stinky breath. Oh man. I don't think he lets me get that close to him first thing in the morning.
Oh,
He's a big kid now.
I know.
Yeah.
No, Poppy needs me to like hold her for 20 minutes after she wakes up.
Same. Same. I feel
Come
that.
over, Becky. Come
I
over.
feel
I'll hold you.
Yeah, this morning, Keith and I were like, we're going to wake up at 6. We're going to work out. It'll be great. And we haven't seen each other in like 2 weeks because we keep like overlapping. So it was the first like morning we got to be together. And I just snuggled in and was like, no
workout.
And Alfred and Grandpa Barry came in and they're like,
Yeah. And you're like, no, it's
I was
cuddle
like,
time.
no. Yeah. So I just slept like an extra 30 minutes. I was like, I'm staying here. Let me in.
That sounds
Let me-
That sounds way better and healthier for your mental health than working out.
Yeah. Though I did find this new YB so she also has an Oculus and we have an Oculus. And she does this workout called Supernatural. And you guys, it is so fun. I have never been so excited to work out in my life.
Do I need an Oculus?
Yeah. So it would be a very expensive investment for you to both do because it's already like a subscription-based service.
Oh my
So
God.
to have to buy the Oculus on top of it, I'd probably recommend just doing your normal workouts. But if you have an Oculus,
I love that you think I have normal workouts,
it's
but go
so
ahead.
good. It's like you can do boxing and you can also do this one called Flow. That's kind of like Beat Saber, but it's all to like, there's like new music. I also did one that was like musicals. And even though 2 of the musicals were boring, they did end with Hairspray. So it was like, beep, beep, beep,
Hairspray
beep,
is
beep,
the
beep,
best.
Wait, so what were the boring musicals?
beep. It was, what's the Catherine McPhee one that she did with the tap dancing sailors? Hello, Dolly? It was Hello, Dolly. And then the one before that was just an old musical. It was like old, like something. I don't know. I don't know. But they have like
No Rodgers
coaches
and
that tell you
Hammerstein?
what to do, and you like punch, 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 and you do squats, and you're like punch, punch.
And were you sweating?
Literally so profusely. I asked on my Instagram the other day. I was like, all right, if you use an Oculus, or even if you don't, like, how does your head not? Like, I am like wet when I'm done working out. Like, it looks like I jumped in a pool. And that could be even light going on the treadmill and just strutting around, damp head. And everyone's like, you just need to like hit it with a cold blow dryer. I tried it once. It took me 45 minutes to dry my hair.
Wow.
And I don't have that much hair. I was like, I can never do that again. Then they were like, just rinse your head and you don't have to actually use soap. And so I did that. And then my hair was stuck to my head.
Yeah. No,
And
you
I was
have
like,
to do full shower.
I just do full showers. I am like, I follow most like beauty and hair rules, but when they're like, you should really only wash your hair once a week, I'm like,
Once
it is
a week?
literally impossible. I have to
can't.
wash it every other day.
I wash mine every other day.
Yeah.
I can't do once a week.
I can't do more than
Every
like,
other day. And if I go any longer than that, and usually I have to do dry shampoo like in the in-between times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the other days, my hair looks bad.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So it's fine today. Washed it this morning.
I washed it this
Tuesday
morning,
will be
too.
a bad hair day.
That's a hat day.
100%.
Yeah, it is a hat day.
Yeah. Easy.
I've been
Easy.
embracing color more in my outfits.
Excuse me, look down at your outfit, Ariel.
I was wearing pink before I spilled something on it. But look at my nails.
Your nails
I like
are
the nails.
colorful.
Aren't they?
Your outfit is fully black and white
My
and
outfit
blue.
is fully black and white. You are so right.
But if you had pink on this morning, that is a big
Exactly.
step.
I
You're
was
typically
wearing
a black
pink.
and white gal.
I know. So I have been embracing color more and just like
Why is
trying.
that?
I don't know. I don't know what.
Are you going through a fashion revolution?
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
Maybe I am. I think I got bored.
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is so privileged to say, but sometimes I just look in my closet and I'm like, I don't love you anymore.
I know.
Okay, but is it like the first day before your period?
Yes, always, always. And then I'm like,
That's always
oh,
how
wait.
I know my period's coming.
Every month, right before my period, I'm like, I need to go on a diet. And then I get my period and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
We're
fine.
fine.
We hate ourselves for just a second and then our period starts and we understand what's going on.
It's literally the worst.
I always know when my period's about to start because I feel this like deep need to organize things and like throw things away, you know, or like give things away, like go through and like, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this, you know?
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, I'm like, I don't have the energy to do that.
You're in the middle
Yeah.
of the project and you're like, oh no, that's over.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah. I have that like the 3 days before my period because I have PMDD, which is like your PMS on steroids. So it's basically like all of the symptoms of PMS times like 30.
Can I get
Yikes.
a notification for when Becky is about to be on
Literally,
her period?
right? 100%.
Do not text Becky.
not text
do
Becky.
Not ask her to do anything.
Bring
literally
Becky
what
a
it is.
present.
Yeah.
Keith knows. He's like, it's coming. It's happening. It's like, you stay there, honey. Just lay.
You just stay
Don't do
there.
anything. Yeah,
You're like,
I don't want any
throwing
food.
Grandpa Barry across the room.
100%. It's all food sounds awful. There's nothing that I want to eat, but I also want to eat everything. Every item of clothing I hate and want to throw away. I threaten to like burn the house down, which I would never actually do. That's just an empty
of
threat.
course.
But I'm just like, do you remember
Thanks for clarifying.
those
When you get,
moments
like,
where you're like
annoyed?
so mad and you're like, I hate everything. This is
Yeah.
the worst. But it's only the 3 to 4 days before my period. Once my period starts, all that goes away and it's just a normal period with like normal cramping. But before that, I'm just like
You're
hella
like-
depressed, hella
Yeah.
anxious,
Yeah.
hate everything.
I also hate everything. Like I look around, I'm like, life has no joy. And then my
Literally.
period starts.
Yeah.
I know.
Or you become very nihilistic. Like I always feel like right before my period, I'm like, I'm gonna throw all the recycling in the garbage can. Nothing matters.
Nothing
Like, nothing legit matters.
I love that that's your nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
I'm gonna throw all the recycling.
This doesn't matter.
Nothing. Have you guys seen on TikTok the fact that like men's hormonal cycles are a 24-hour period, and so that's how like the workday was formed, but women's are a 26 to 28 day cycle, a month long, and that if women had shaped how like I don't know, capitalism functions, that we would have like days off in the middle and rest periods and like that really organizing thing, like high intensity periods in like the luteal phase. And that we would have this sort of 28-day work cycle rather than every day, sort of the same kind of clip that ebbed and flowed with like our hormone cycles. And I was like, that would be so crazy because
never heard that.
there are
before.
days that I could work like 16 hours straight and I would be so productive, so organized, get it. And there are other days where I just need to lay in bed and not move. And instead, we just trudge through every day as if our hormone cycle was 24 hours like a man.
Yeah.
Wait, that is fascinating.
Isn't it?
I have never heard anything like that. I feel like that's one of those things that you read that really changes your perspective on things.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I understand why I have these like weird bad days and these weird like superwoman days. And like, you're like, oh, it's not random. It's not that the sun was just shining extra bright. It's not that I was just good this day and bad that day.
Yeah.
It's that like I am dealing with different chemicals in my body on those days, making me feel different things. Should we play questions you're too afraid to ask your mom?
Yes, let's do it, moms.
Okay.
Moms and me.
Moms and me. Well, these are questions you're too afraid to ask your mom. So you want to ask your cool older friend, Aunt Becky.
Cool Aunt Becky will tell you.
Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky.
Send your kids to Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky and Auntie Ariel. How do I play off a fart in the middle of class?
It depends on if it's stinky or loud.
Okay, let's go with stinky first.
Oh,
Stinky
no.
first. Whoever smelt it dealt it.
Wow.
So you just stay silent?
100%. 100%.
Own it.
What is that not the agreed upon
Eight-year-old
way?
Ariel is here.
I'm thinking it's silent, but stinky.
So then what do you do?
Nothing. You do nothing.
I go into play into the humor.
Have
Play
you
into the
heard
humor.
those who do the rhyme did the crime?
I mean, who likes waiting on a paycheck, especially when you have bills to pay? Good thing there's Chime. Now you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early with direct deposit. That's 2 more days to save, pay bills, strategize, and generally just feel better about your money situation. But Chime is more than just about getting paid early. It's also an award-winning mobile app, checking account, debit card, and optional savings account. So what are you waiting for? Hopefully not your paycheck. Get started with Chime today. Applying for a free account also takes less than 2 minutes. Get started at chime.com/sitwithus. That's chime.com/sitwithus. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depend on payer.
Oh man. But if it's loud,
Okay.
then you could just be like, oh, sorry. Like, no big deal.
I go with the humor of it. I think
Yeah,
if
I
you
think you
rip like
just
a
own
really
up to
awful
it.
fart, like
Yeah.
you just go like, oh, I'm literally dying inside.
I'm so sorry.
I just say I
Dying.
like have a rotting animal inside me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but it had to come out.
I had to come out.
I had to release the beast.
I taught the girls to say excuse me after they fart. And so now sometimes in the evenings they'll be like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Like, oh, that was 3, huh?
Gassy.
Oh, that's so
Excuse me.
sweet.
Blurp,
Just,
blurp.
excuse me.
Excuse me.
Okay,
That's
clearly
cute.
I was not taught the correct way to do this.
Well, I
Because
It was Texas, girl. It was a different place.
I know.
to be fair, in middle school and high school, I would have rather died than own up to anything. And in fact, like once I remember farting in front of my friends and being like, I just made that noise with my foot on the floor. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, okay, you're
I
right.
farted.
That was
Like, oops,
that was
that
hard.
was me.
But as an adult, like you just like
You just own
okay.
up to it. You're like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
don't
I
know.
mean, now I would. I'm imagining being in like class.
Yeah. In class, it's really hard to do that at 14. I get it. It's hard.
Wait,
Kids are mean.
I'm not done with this conversation because I feel like I was not taught the right way, like to do that. If you had a super stinky fart, I would never own up to that. I just couldn't.
Never.
Well, maybe not never.
Even the other day, the girls and I were like, huh. And I was like, does anyone have to go poop? And, no, everyone's like, no. And they're playing. And then June leaves and she comes back out and she goes, it was my smell. I was like, did you poop? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay.
My smell.
It was my smell. She was delighted.
That's so cute.
That is so cute.
She's like, I know my fart. I know my poopy fart.
She was like, I didn't know. We were all smelling my stinky smell, but now I know.
No.
And I feel like, Wes is already, he'll be like, that wasn't me. Or like he'll joke about like making the noise with his mouth or making the noise with his bottom.
Oh.
His bottom.
His bottom. I made that noise with my bottom. You're like,
Oh my
yeah, you
God.
did.
I mean, Wes also called his booty hole a toot hole
He
for
did.
a while.
Toot hole.
Toot hole.
Toot hole.
Toot hole. Auntie Ariel, Auntie Becky.
Yes.
We're going to a restaurant before the dance that is too expensive for me. What do I do?
Oh,
That's really
hard
hard.
dilemma.
As a grown-up,
Mhm.
you just say that's too expensive for me, bro. Like we have to
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
I'm on a tight budget right now. I can't.
But the way this person says before the dance,
Mhm.
it seems like they're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say what I did is I just wouldn't go. I would be like, oh,
Right.
my mom said I can't go to dinner, but I can go to the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's so sad.
you get such FOMO.
Yeah.
I feel like I never like really thought about it that much at the time. I was just like, oh yeah, I don't have, I was a
I don't
kid.
have the cash.
I don't have cash.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're not in control of the situation to change the restaurant, is there a way to eat at home beforehand and then just like get something tiny?
Yeah, but then you could run into the terrible situation where
let's just
everybody
split
wants
it.
to split everything,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
as an adult, I'm very okay with. And like
100%.
also like love it and don't really even think, because like, again, since my parents don't drink, there were a lot of times we'd go out to dinner with other family friends and they go, oh, let's just split it evenly. And so my parents never said like, oh, well, I didn't get the wine or I didn't get whatever. It was always like, oh no, we're all going out.
Right,
so
like, it's fine.
everybody splits everything. That's fine.
But as a grown-up, you are
That's
in
different.
control of your disposable income
Yeah.
or lack thereof and your finances. And I feel like you just have so much more social sway to be like, that place is really expensive. Could we go here?
Yeah.
If
Or I
you
found
are a
this other
teen
spot.
in a group teen spot and someone's picked somewhere for before the dance, I
Yeah.
feel like you don't have as much say to be like, can we go get pizza?
yeah, just blame your parents.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're right.
Easy.
But call it out at the beginning. You
Yeah.
know, at least say to like a couple of people, like, this is too expensive for me. Or,
Or
no,
if
I
that's
mean, just
embarrassing,
saying,
just
like,
say
oh,
my
my
parents
parents won't
said
let
I
me
can't
go.
go.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you don't really have to like explain anything. And
Yeah.
your parents honestly probably won't mind that you're blaming them for that.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
Yeah.
And if there was one person that was kind of planning the whole thing, you could also go to them and say, this is a little bit too expensive. Can we do something else?
I know. That feels embarrassing when you're little, though.
I know.
It really does.
I say lie. Blame your parents.
Okay. Aunties, tips for changing at a sleepover or a locker room so no one can see your body.
Oh,
I know.
stalls.
Yes.
Like the bathroom stall?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I was a nudist as a child. Not really, but there were definitely times when I wanted to like shield. I feel like the two friends holding up a towel is a good one. That one usually works out pretty well. This is in a locker room or
I mean,
where?
these
room or
questions are
sleepover?
from younger
Yeah,
women, it
yeah.
seems.
I'd say go into the
or men.
bathroom stall.
Bathroom stall is always
Easy peasy.
available
Bathroom
to
stall,
you.
Yeah.
for sure. Or wrap a towel,
Mm-hmm.
and then pants on 1st
Mm-hmm.
and then because I do this, I'll do this at in like a spa or something like that where you just don't really want to have everything out there, and
Maybe you don't.
maybe yeah. I mean, sometimes I do.
did go to the Korean spa with my girlfriends once. And as an adult, it was like one of those things where you're like, oh, I haven't been naked in front of my friends before. Like that's
yeah.
just
Right.
not something
And-
we do all the time.
I went to the Korean spa a lot pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Naked with a lot of other women.
Yeah.
It was bodies on display.
Right,
Body
all different
parade.
shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ages.
Ages.
Uh-huh.
You're like, oh, I see the future. Gravity. Wow.
I just
Hello.
also feel like I realized too, doing that, I was like, nobody's looking at you.
Right.
You know what I
Everyone's
mean?
thinking
Like
about themselves.
everyone's thinking about yourself. So I was like, honestly, like too self-conscious about my own body starting like in the K-spa to look at anyone else.
I
Right.
know.
And then one of my
Absolutely.
girlfriends, who it was her birthday, who wanted to go, got this massage and she had to run out and like rinse in between the massage. And we just saw full everything. And it was like, okay, we did it. We saw it.
It's
We
done.
saw it.
It's fine.
But then you sit in
We're
your
fine.
mugwort bath and you're
Yeah.
like, I can't really see under there.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, this is fine. This is normal. These are bodies.
Yeah.
Bodies are bodies.
Absolutely.
No
Yeah,
one's thinking about you as
everybody's-
much as you're thinking about you.
Everybody's thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand how.
Yeah, but
You
when
would
you're
want to.
younger, it can feel really
Stressful.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
It's very
I say
stressful.
changing the bathroom
Change in
if
the
you're at a
bathroom.
sleepover, and change in the bathroom stall at school. Because if you're in a locker room, there should be some closed stalls for like pooping. Your pre-gym poop. Ugh.
All right, last one. How do I pretend I did the reading when I didn't? First of all, do your homework.
Although there were definitely times I'm quite a slow reader, or at least I was when I was in like middle school and high school. I probably still am. I just don't have to read as much, and so there were definitely times when I only did a little bit of the reading. I got really good at speed reading, so kind of reading for to pull out like
Skimming.
yeah, kind of skimming, especially if it's like a textbook or something like that. If it's a like a novel and you have to talk about it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, if it was right now, I would go to Cliff Notes.
Oh, yeah.
And just read what the synopsis was.
Mhm.
But back in the day, I feel like, I did a lot of my reading because I did enjoy reading.
Mhm.
But when it was a book that I didn't like, shout out to Once and Future King, the worst book ever written.
What?
They just spent like 4 pages describing flags. And I was like, why would anyone write this novel?
I've never heard of this book.
It's like a King Arthur book.
Okay.
And
I've heard of it.
Parts of it are good and parts of it are like just the longest descriptions you've ever heard for flags and chairs and horses.
Okay. I would rather have hot fairies
Yeah, 100%.
making hot love.
100%. I would just ask a friend.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I would do. I would
Okay.
ask like whoever's close to me and be like, hey, what
Okay,
was this?
but
What
here's the
what was
question.
reading?
All of that advice is for what you should be doing beforehand. You're sitting in class, you didn't do the reading, you didn't do any of this. What do you do?
Find a vague subject to discuss at length. Because the
That's
teacher will
actually
just
true.
be happy that you're talking. So if you can hold on to
The
one thing,
grammar
be like,
in this reading passage
Yes.
was really well done.
or if you like know
Yeah.
about like a theme or kind of know like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
kind
what
of,
I would say is lean into the one thing you know about it and then just try and talk as long as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until they
'cause-
forget what the
because
question was.
That's what the teacher wants anyway.
Or
She
don't
just wants
talk,
a
right?
conversation.
Or don't talk. You could hide.
You could
Find
just
guide.
hope for the best.
And honestly, if you get called out, just own up to it and say,
in college lit classes, we would go around the room and everyone would have to say
If they read
something.
it
I
in
mean, they were small, there were 8 people in this class. So we'd go around and everyone would have to talk. So you were too scared to never do the reading. I was.
Okay, so I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but like I dreaded English classes.
Really?
Yeah. I hated doing a lot of reading because reading makes me fall asleep.
Yeah, me too.
And I hated writing essays. There was just something about it that I never like my essays, you know, I got used to it, but they were always very like, I don't know. I never excelled at. I loved science classes, math classes, like
You're a STEM girl.
I liked the ones where I could like physically do something to like have something happen in the class. You know, like I was always very quiet in class.
English.
Yeah, in English because I never knew what to say. I could never pull themes out
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Well, because you were a science baby.
I was like
that
the book
STEM.
was good. It was a book, you know?
It was a book. There were words. See, I was polar opposite. We would
Really?
have made the perfect person. Yeah, because I could not.
We
do
still would.
math. We still couldn't do math or science to save my life, but got to not take history and English in college because I did my AP courses in it. So I was in like remedial math and AP history, English. It was like you could definitely see how my brain worked.
Uh-huh.
That is so funny. Yeah, everybody's brain works so differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still dread like writing, you know, long things.
Oh, I definitely couldn't do it now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
I
do it
couldn't
now.
write a paper now.
No.
I was so
Too
good
many
at
rules.
it then. And now I'm just like, ew, no. Do you want to hop on the phone and have a conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll tell you about it.
I was never good at it. It was such a slog for me. Such a slog.
Did you have to do a college dissertation?
Yeah. And
How long
I
was
waited 60 pages.
Oh my
Did
God,
you do
what
one?
is that? No, I went to a public school in Illinois. I did not get my master's. I didn't get my master's either.
But I had to do
The longest paper I had to write was maybe like 8 or 9 pages for like my
No,
junior
your
and
senior
senior level
dissertation.
class. Why do you write a dissertation? For what purpose?
It's like your final senior project in your major or majors. You write a dissertation that like is the culmination of what you've studied over those 4 years and how you've applied it to X project. For me, it was a performance. It was a play, and I wrote a dissertation on the play that I performed.
Did you both
I was
go
a
to
theater
private
major.
colleges?
We both went to private liberal arts colleges.
I was like, that's where it was.
We both have
I think
bachelors
it's
of
part
arts.
of the like liberal arts situation
we both,
where you
we
just
went to
kind
very
of like,
similar schools.
Yeah, we did.
Small liberal arts.
small liberal arts.
Yeah.
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 So I had 2 majors, 2 minors. So I wrote 2 dissertations.
Holy moly.
I know. I went nuts for a second.
Yeah. I majored in anthropology and sociology.
Yeah,
and I
of course you
minored in studio art.
I put on the play Reckless by Craig Lucas, and my friend Megan Mashiko directed it, and a bunch of people were in it, and I was the lead role. And then I wrote a dissertation comparing Craig Lucas's Reckless to the writing of Alice in Wonderland.
Wow.
And that was sort of my thing. And so
And
I
what
wrote,
were your majors and minors?
I did English and theater, and then psychology and teacher education.
Wow.
I know.
English.
Well, here's the thing. I ended up doing early childhood ed, but I was told at one point that I couldn't get a high school teaching degree with a major that was not in a core subject because I was doing theater. And I just freaked out that that wasn't going to be allowed to me. So I quickly added an English degree to it. But I didn't really want to do that. And then I ended up being early childhood anyway. But there was a point in like my education can only be a minor because you have to have something you can teach. There's at one point where I was like, oh, I just don't want to be limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I did it. And psych, I just really loved.
Yeah. I like psych too.
Yeah. Psych classes were so fun for
funsies.
me.
So fun.
Funsies.
fun.
Like
And
I had
you
a
did-
psych book of psych experiments for which I had to buy for a class, and I had to read like 10 of them, and there were maybe like 400 of them in here. I read the thing cover to cover. I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You know all the things now.
I mean, that was like 12 years ago or something.
They're in there somewhere.
They're in there somewhere, but they're behind like Fairy Smut, June and Poppy's preschool schedule, what we're having for dinner this week. Are there any good sales going on? So they're deep. They're deep.
I hear that.
Deep back there.
I hear that. And Becky, you did broadcast
Journalism.
Yeah. So I was a
And theater.
double major freshman to junior year. But then since both required before and after school things, I had to pick senior year. So I just
So what
dropped
did you pick?
theater. I just
Okay.
dropped the broadcasting to a completed minor. So I basically just had like senior classes as
As
I
a
just had like
theater
better
major.
minor classes.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And then I did summer school because it was also, you had to have like X amount of hours in the week to do things that I didn't have. It
Wow. That's intense.
was a lot of school.
College is intense.
College is
is
intense.
intense.
I also love that you both did theater. I feel like everybody that is in like my inner circle
Miles.
right now did theater.
Miles.
Did theater.
Miles.
I
Theater
would not.
boy.
I could
Rainie,
not be
theater.
caught dead.
Not
She's
theater.
like, not me.
I was never one to be on stage. I would actually have nightmares about it. Like it just somebody making me memorize lines or something like that. Like I would have nightmares about getting up on a stage and nobody ever told me the lines.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's a common one.
That's a very straightforward nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm with you. That does sound scary.
Yeah.
But like I never put myself in that position, I think, because I was
'Cause
so,
you're so
scared
scared.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a
sense.
terrible memorizer. Like I could memorize things in like science class.
Yeah.
You know, but I could never memorize like poems or anything
Dialogue's
like that.
hard too, because
Yeah.
you basically memorize two things.
Yeah.
Right.
The
yeah.
line before and then yours. Yeah. I used to write them. I would write the whole play out.
Yeah.
That's how I memorized, by writing. Like the physical act of writing would like burn it into my memory.
Yeah.
So my senior play, I must have written that thing 4 or 5 times. The whole thing, cover to finish.
I'm curious, like what brings you joy when you're on stage? Like what is it about theater that like I'm asking because I want to know what it is that like gives you excitement when you're up there, because all I get is fear. You know?
It's just imagine the opposite. Instead of fear, you like it.
Yeah.
but like what do you
It's
like?
like a positive adrenaline rush.
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
And I think what I like about it is owning the room. You
Really?
know, like you get up on stage
Yeah.
and you're playing a part, and it's like the feeling of owning the attention of X amount of people, both the people you're on stage with and the people in the audience, feels
Yeah.
really powerful or exciting or good. And tapping into someone else's life and emotions is super fun. Like sometimes I think when I did theater, I was even more like mentally, psychologically balanced, because I was so balanced in my real life because I could act out the highs and lows of other people's stories in a way that then played into making my own life feel so stable. Because I was like just, you know, sobbing over whatever, or like, you know, I don't know. It was so stabilizing for me IRL.
Interesting. You're sort of like leaving your own problems
And just trying on other people's problems that don't actually affect your life, like, and their joys and their happiness or their crazy or their sexuality or their, it's fun.
and when you're in that situation, you're getting like immediate feedback too, whether you're doing well or not, you know? And so when you're doing well, you only get like you like get more high, you know, off of like the
and
excitement.
I at least always felt like when I was really engaged in something that was challenging, I would get into like kind of a flow state or a zone where like it was almost happening around me and with me rather than me controlling it.
Yeah, you're not like consciously thinking about it. It's just sort of
You kind of like drop into it, and then
it's
you're
like
just
muscle memory.
because you've rehearsed it for months and months and months, and you've been playing around with it and you've done all the homework. So you just kind of drop into this thing. And it's not like you're like, oh, I wonder what my line is. It's just coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think what scares me is what Keith does, which is improv.
Oh, yeah.
That
Really?
is like, I'm like, Miles is laughing because he's like, it's easy, bro.
Good Miles impression.
I know.
Great
I
Miles
really
impression.
good, bro. I'm really good at really capturing exactly how people sound. Just pretty much. Miles is like, here's advice. It'll go for Miles.
Let's nail it. Yeah, that's really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sort of
is
a
hard.
10-year-old girl.
Who's a little too sassy for her own
Maybe
good.
yeah.
She drank whiskey this morning.
Yeah, she had a little whiskey. Yeah, that like terrifies me. Like I'm good at like making jokes and being like off the cuff with like people, like in conversation.
Yeah.
But to do it the way that like he does it is like next level. Where at least sometimes I just watch him and I'm like, how are you even doing that?
Yeah.
Like
I
when he
agree.
makes up
That's
songs
very-
and stuff, I'm like, what?
I
Where
agree.
is that coming from?
Yeah.
What part of your brain?
It's, it's learned just like anything else.
It's also practice.
It's
Keith
practice,
is so
practice,
practiced
practice.
that,
Yeah.
You know, he's like almost never stopped.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
And,
Can't stop, won't stop.
when you start, you're usually not very good at it. You
Yeah,
know?
but I think that's what's different about Keith is he like never
was.
did it and then was just like, I'm gonna try it. This sounds fun, and was just good.
Good.
Some
I mean,
people
he's
are just
certainly
good at
gotten
it.
better, but he definitely like started good.
Keith was just built for a captive audience.
Yeah.
So
He-
true.
You know, I don't care what he's doing, singing, improvising, performing something he knows, cooking, whatever,
Yeah.
doing a facial, whatever. He was just built for a captive audience.
Yeah.
It's that third child syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously. I remember when we lived in Chicago, Ned would take like improv classes, you know, and you guys have all been to the horrible just improv shows that the late night ones that are like the people are still learning. And I remember he took a making up song class, you know, like a class that actually taught you how to make up songs on the fly.
Keith was teaching it.
I wish. We did not know each other at the time.
The other crazy thing about Keith lasting to toot his own horn, no classes. That bitch didn't
None?
take classes. No, he taught classes. Bitch never took
He's
a
class.
natural.
He
No.
literally is.
He like learned by doing and was like, yeah.
That is so funny. Because I remember when,
Nuts.
like before Ned took this class and after Ned took this class, complete change in like a lot of his like on
Performance
like
stuff.
performance work, because he could make up songs now. He like knew how to do it because there's actually a formula to doing it.
Yeah, of course.
You think of the last word and then try to rhyme the like. So like as you're doing it, you're like, okay, I'm going to use this word in like the second sentence. So now I have to make up this sentence like the first one and rhyme with that word, and then I can say whatever I want and then that word, and it'll be great. You know? And I was just like, my mind was blown. Like, this is amazing.
That's
This
just
is
how
how it
Keith's
all
brain
works.
works.
That's just how Keith's brain works.
I don't know where.
Literally
it
all
is
the
in his
time
head.
on set. I'll be like, Keith, sing us a song. And he just
does.
does.
100%. Yeah.
He just does. Without hesitation, he just starts singing. And it has like melody and like, it's really good. Musically, it's really good. But also there are lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
He'll help me. We'll be singing in the car to just like something silly. And there's this 2-story McDonald's that got built like near us. And so we sing the song about 2-story McDonald's. And I can never remember the lines. And he'll slowly be like, too much McDonald's for just one story. And I always sing too much story for just one McDonald's.
I like it both ways.
Yeah.
I like the rendition. The
Yeah.
remix.
The remix, yeah. But he'll just sing all the time.
Yeah.
Ariel, I think you need to take an improv class. I think it sounds like you like it.
But
From what I'm hearing, it sounds like
you
would
forgot
like it.
the beginning of that conversation where
fear.
I am so scared to like.
But maybe that's why you should do it,
I
is
know.
because you conquering your fear will gift you so much.
Yeah.
You know, I've thought about it before. I really
Do
I
it.
have. I've thought about taking an improv class because I've thought that it would like improve my confidence in front of other people.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a good life skill.
it is a good life skill.
You'll learn
I feel
to say
like
yes more.
I will learn to say, you know,
Yes, and.
just living with Ned and the boys, honestly, like that has taught me to say yes more. And that actually, like, that's one of the things that I take in life is just like say yes. Yeah. But I feel like the moment has passed.
Never.
No.
All right.
Comment down below if you think Ariel should sign up for an improv class.
Everyone vote.
I will take an
Everyone
improv
votes.
class if you do it with me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure. Excellent.
All right, great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yes, and
Yes, and
We
When
will
should we
report
go?
back. We're gonna go to IO. Nope, IO's gone.
IO's
we're gonna
dead.
go to Improv. Nope, that's the same thing. We're gonna go to what's the place called?
Second City still exists, I think.
yeah, let's not tell them where we're going.
We're not gonna tell you where
just
we're
go.
going.
Yes, and
We'll go to Keith and Ned's
go.
school. Of
Yeah,
improv.
Keith, Ned, and Miles.
And Miles,
of improv.
Easy. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to us this week and sitting with us. We're so happy that you do.
and tell us what movie was your sexual awakening. Miles
yeah.
really wants to know.
Miles really
wants
to know.
Sarah, Miles really
Miles
wants
is
to know.
real curious, ladies.
Gonna get me canceled.
I think we found Miles's
He's so embarrassed,
whatchamacallit.
you guys.
tagline for the
Tagline
episode or the title.
What's your sexual
what's your
awakening?
sexual
Miles wants to know.
What was your sexual awakening, ladies?
Ladies, women.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Horrible.
Make sure you're downloading, subscribing, liking, commenting, reviewing, washing your hands, wearing your masks, getting vaccinated and boosted, being nice to people, peeing after sex.
She's so good at
Was
this.
there any other
She's
ones
so
that
good
we
at this.
forgot?
Those are the major ones.
Tip your servers and your
Oh,
Uber
yeah,
drivers
baby.
and
Just
your
generally be
Postmates
kind,
people.
Work hard.
Yeah, work hard, play hard, baby. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.